What's good, family? What's good, Cowboys family? I know I'll be in and out sometimes, but yeah, um, got some things I wanted to speak on today. Um, the main thing being, the main thing being our front office and the ineptitude of said front office. Okay, that's what I wanted to speak on. The ineptitude of said front office. Okay, um, listening to people talk, letting everybody get their shit off, and you know everybody's hashtagging trade for f them picks, f them picks, f them picks. I wanted to be team f those picks. I did. I wanted to be team f those picks. Now I'm team. Just let the season go. Just let the season go. I mean, with the defense that we have right now, it's no guarantee that we're even going to make the playoffs. Now, I've said it before at the beginning of the season. My focus was not on getting to the playoffs. That was not my focus. I was not worried about getting to the playoffs. The playoffs was the last thing on my mind, mainly because after trading away Mike Parsons and, seeing the moves that was made and looking at how it all worked out up until this point, yeah, it was exactly how I thought it was going to be. We were not going to make the playoffs. Now, offensively, I am a little bit more surprised than I thought I would, mainly because this offense is a lot better than I thought it would be. A lot better than I thought it would be. I knew it would be good. I knew it would be great. You know what I'm saying? I knew it would because that fucking Prescott, CD Lamb. You know what I'm saying? Javonte Williams was a surprise. What's going on, Rel? Dak Prescott, CD Lamb, but Javonte Williams was a surprise. Um, George Pickens, once that move happened, that bolstered the offense even more. Tyler Booker, he's done a great job. Even some of our depth pieces on the offensive line, they've done great jobs. So the offense isn't the issue. The issue is the defense. And I keep hearing people clamoring for F them picks. Go get me Trey Hendrickson. Go get Myles Garrett. Go get Max Crosby. The names of the names of the names. And yeah, let's be honest. If you don't got a name, it's going to be a problem. Unless you draft a dog. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't got a name, it's going to be an issue. It's like the guys that we have here on defense. It's not, and it's a shame because it's not all of them. It's not all of them. It's not. I think Kenny Clark is doing the best that he can with what he has. You know what I'm saying? Osa, all right, he's been quiet. You know what I'm saying? Even after getting paid. But it's not like he hasn't done anything. He's just as inconsistent as the Cowboys defense. I'll say that. Because I'm not gonna bash the man too hard. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's talking about, can we get a refund? I don't want that because this is a new system. You know what I'm saying? Matt Eberflus, playing with coaching the players that he has. Now, me personally, the job of the coaches is to put your team in the best position to win, to do their job well. I got to say he hasn't done that. What, one, maybe 2 games? I can count probably 2 games where no, I can't even do that. I can count 1 game where the offense was super shitty and 2 games then, if that's the case, where the offense wasn't as good as it should have been, and we lost the game due to the fact that the offense was bad and so was the defense. The past game, Denver, let's admit it, the offense was not the greatest. You know what I'm saying? It could have been better. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't as fluent as we wanted it to be, but let's give credit to Denver. They did their job. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say locked them up. Both of those guys had 7 receptions for 76 yards. Now, did you take away ancillary pieces? Yes, you did. Jake Ferguson had 1 target on 0 catches for 0 yards. You know what I'm saying? So obviously they did their job. They did their job muddying up the waters for Dak. That's the only kudos I'll give them. The only kudos I'll give them. Other than that, the defense, I mean, it's still the same thing. We're giving up 30-plus points, 40-plus points. Now, Denver's a good team. I'm not going to take it away from them. They're a good team. But we weren't playing the who's who. Now, I will say In some instances, we didn't get beat on by Cortland Sutton. No, we just got beat on by everybody else. We got they I think they had two backs over 100 yards. You know what I'm saying? That's not on the offense. They had two receivers who were over 100 yards. That's not on the offense. That's the defense. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about let's go make a move. Let me say this clearly and concise. There was two ways how this thing was going to go. And either way it went, it was going to be the same result. Okay? Everybody's saying, Jerry, make a move. We got X amount of dollars. We've got X amount of draft picks. Go make a move. Well, let's just say we won that Denver game. Let's just say, for sake of an argument, we won that Denver game. You know what that would tell Jerry Jones? No, we don't need to make a move. We are good with what we have. We just went out there and beat a team we ain't beaten 30 years. We don't need to make any moves. I think we're good just the way we are. Besides, we have the Marvin Overshown, Savone Revel, you know what I'm saying, Josh Butler, you know what I'm saying, and then the safeties who were injured and they're coming back. You know what I'm saying? So there's absolutely no reason for us to make a move. I think we're good with what we have. The offense is prolific. The defense is stepping up little by little. They're showing growth. But we all know that ain't true. So now let's look at it from the different angle. We lost that game badly. And anybody who's anybody sees that we need help somewhere. Anybody who's anybody. We talk about it amongst ourselves with the fans, the content creators. We go on next to get on spaces with my guy Nix, you know what I mean, with Bo, with Joe, with all these dudes. And we talk about these things. Oh, man, we need to make a move. Well, we lost. And here's how it's going to look to Jerry. Well, there's absolutely no reason to make a move. I mean, we're 3-4-1 right now, and we're coming into our bye. So there's no reason to make a move. I mean, why would we do that? We might as well just throw away the season. As Shotty said earlier, trust the process. You know what I'm saying? So why am I going to go spend draft capital or excess monies to go and make a move on a defense that ain't no good? See how that works? They all roads lead to the same thing. Jerry's saying, no, I'm good. I'm not making no moves. It's either we're good with what we got or we're so bad there's absolutely no reason to make a move. I'm just saying, correct me if I'm wrong. Do you see it the same way? You know what I'm saying? Because the way I'm looking at it is Jerry don't give a fuck. Jerry did what he was supposed to do. Now it's time for the coaches to do what they're supposed to do. The offensive coaches are doing a bang-up job. They're doing a smashing job. They really are. Granted, you have the players on your offense in order to do so. But you still have to call the X's and O's. You can have the Jimmies and Joes all you want. But if you can't call the X's and O's properly, you're going to have a problem. Well, we don't have that much of a problem. I count 2 games where the offense was bad. 2. Maybe 3. The Eagles game. But even then, it really wasn't bad. It was turnovers and drop passes. That's what the Eagles game was. Chicago game, we didn't look good offensively. Mainly because CD went down in the first quarter, and that was it. The Denver game, oh no, we didn't look good at all. At all. We can sit there and talk about the Carolina game if you want, but I'm not going to do that. Bruh, just to even have a shot, and I'm telling you right now, we're not doing that. We're probably going to win 4, maybe 5 more games if the defense is any good coming around to, say, after Thanksgiving. Because I'm telling you right now, with the defense that we have, we're not beating Philly, we're not beating Detroit, and we're damn sure not beating Kansas City. That's 3 losses right there. That's 3 losses right there. So we need to run out at least six games. We need to win at least 6 games. That's Arizona, which historically we don't beat them. Oakland, which historically, if you look at it, we don't beat them either. And they're trash right now. They are bum diddles. But we might not even beat them. So you have Washington again, you have New York, and you have Arizona, and you have Oakland. That's four. That's four out of those 9 games. Then we have to worry about. I'm doing as good as I can be, bro. I hope you guys are having a good day. I appreciate y'all being here, man, showing love. We got the Chargers. They're a dominant. They're a physical team. I'm not going to say dominant because they're just a physical team. You know what I'm saying? You got Minnesota, who has a pretty good defense and a prolific off. You see my. Listen, if we got to play Carson Stench and he lights it, after what I seen him do against Philadelphia, after what I seen him do these past few games, if we go into Minnesota and get tore out the frame, bro, yeah, kill this season. We won't even win 7 games. Then Vegas will be right. The only thing I've ever said at the beginning of the season, anybody who's been here, the only thing I've ever said was, I don't care about the playoffs. I just want to be better than I was last year. I don't care if it's 1 game. So if you go 8-1, I'm happy because that shows progress. You were at least better than you were last year. But with this defense, I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. Yep. The defense is 100% going to be the biggest liability to this team. The biggest. And anybody who's talking this, go trade George Pickens for whatever. Nigga, is you dumb? I hate to use that word. I'm sorry, but is you dumb? You got to be stupid. You got to be. If you don't see the effect that he's had on this team, and that's not just the effect on CeeDee Lamb, that's not just the effect on Dak Prescott, that's the effect in the wide receiver room with Ryan Flanoy. We should have saw Mingo, and we didn't. Well, we're going to see him this game. You know what I'm saying? So that has an effect there. Even Jalen Tolbert. Yeah, I know. I put a lot of S's on there. I don't really like the guy. But he's a Cowboy. I'm rocking with him. But, yeah, even Jalen Tolbert, like, had a profound effect, albeit whether negative or positive, but it still had an effect. More positive on a lot of people, maybe negative on just him. You know what I'm saying? But the offense is not the issue. Do we still have a leaky faucet on the left and right side? Yeah, we still got a leaky faucet on the left and right side. We do, and I'm pretty sure. Like it could have been for Dak Prescott. It could have been worse. It could have been worse. He's taken 10 sacks this year. 10. It's not a lot, which means he does not get a lot. He does not get hit a lot. He might get hit, but he doesn't take a lot of sacks. There's a reason why we've only given up 10 sacks up until now. The reason being is because we have a quarterback who's savvy enough, even though he's not extremely mobile, he's savvy enough to move the pocket. Even if you move him out of a spot, he can create another spot to where he can make a serviceable play. So we have a quarterback savvy enough, smart enough, good enough to do these things. Not a lot of teams have that. We're talking about bad defenses. Tennessee's defense is just as bad. Atlanta's defense is just as bad. As good as Minnesota's defense is on paper, they're just as bad. But it's highlighted when it comes to the Cowboys because honestly, they are the reason we lose. Oh well, some Dak detractors, some haters will say, "Well, Dak should be able to keep up with these teams." Yeah, but why is it that he has to be perfect all the time? We just saw Patty Mahomes run off a string of games. He was not perfect. We just saw Jalen Squirts. They're what 5-2, 6-2. They have not been perfect. Probably 2 games they had a good game. Other than they have not been perfect. So miss me with the whole, oh, well, Dak has to be perfect. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. The defense needs to get him the ball. The defense should be able to get key stops and key moments. And that's where I want to go back to the Denver game, where Dak and the offense have to come to play. Exactly. 100% Jeremy Betts. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, he was getting. Listen, normally Dak does very well in the blitz and when pressured, but the things that Denver do well is take away your main pieces. And one of it, and the one thing that they did do, even though they didn't shut down GP and CD, they shut down Jake Ferguson, his security blanket. They shut down. They shut him down. One target, 0 catches, 0 yards. That's what they did. That was the deciding factor. Something I said last week when I said we were going to go when we were coming to play Denver. I said, well, this should be a Jake Ferguson game. This should be a Jake Ferguson game. Well, it wasn't a Jake Ferguson game. We didn't have enough threats out there. Was there an issue with play calling? Yeah. Was there an issue with the personnel that you had out on the field? Definitely. Maybe you should have swung for the fences a few more times. You know what I'm saying? Oh, let's try this combination. Let's try this combination. Keep them off balance. But that didn't happen. That didn't happen. No use of crying over spilled milk. It is what it is. It is what it is at this point. But I will say, I believe this offense bounces back this game. I believe the offense bounces back this game. Now, the Arizona Cardinals, they're not a bad team. All the games they lost were single score losses. They lost 3 or 4 games on last minute field goals. 2 games were lost on last second gotta have it touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? They're not a bad team. Defensively, they are not a bad team. Calais Campbell, Buda Baker. I mean, yeah, Calais Campbell is a little up there. Josh Sweat. And remember who we're playing. We're not just playing the Arizona Cardinals. No, we're not just playing the Arizona Cardinals. Who we're playing is Jonathan Gannon. Jonathan Gannon understands how to play the Cowboys. Jonathan Gannon ain't too scared to run it down your fucking throat. And after what we saw last week with Denver, expect a heavy dose. Expect a heavy dose. Expect a heavy dose because it's coming. It's like, all right, so when I talk about players not being involved, like there's several things that go into it, right? We all watch the games, you know what I'm saying? Now, our eyes as fans, our eyes are trained to watch the ball. That's where our eyes are trained. Okay, they snap the ball, quarterback has the ball. We're not because they go out of the screens. When we're watching on TV, they go out of the screen. All your route concepts, we don't see their route concepts. What we see is the quarterback with the ball and anything that's within the screen. Now, once he throws the ball, that's when shit happens, when you see everything. So we don't know exactly what it was that took Jake Ferguson out of the game, whether it be Jake Ferguson himself or the defense. And from how I'm looking at it, because I haven't watched film, how I'm looking at it is I think the defense did a really good job of blanketing Jake Ferguson to keep him from being that security blanket that Dak needed. That's what I think. I'm not going to put it on Jake Ferguson. I'm going to put it on that defense. I mean, because they showed it. If you could count how many times Dak's been pressured throughout the year, this is the one game where he's been pressured the most. This game and the Carolina game. Those 2 games, he's been pressured the most. Other than that, he's had it smooth sailing. Even in the Eagles game, the Washington game, and they had Daron Payne. Daron Payne had 2 pass breakups. You know what I'm saying? So he hasn't faced that amount of pressure. Exactly. That's exactly what it was. This a good John. That's exactly what it was. And the crazy part is the corners really didn't strap up. They actually did a really good job masking their defense. There was a play where Dak was we were going to throw the ball. We were going to throw the ball. They were playing you had we were playing too high. They were playing too high. And Dak's like, all right, they're playing too high shell. Holy shit. All right, we're going to switch to the run. But then I see that safety come down, start to creep down. They baited Dak into changing the play. They did a really good job of disguising their defense. If there was one game, exactly. True indeed. He had like five, exactly. He had like five in a row at that, in a row on both sides, CD and George. You know what I'm saying? But you got to give them credit. You got to give them credit, man. They did a really good job of disguising their coverages. You know what I'm saying? Now, we say, oh, there isn't much Dak hasn't seen. Well, Dak didn't see that. Okay? Dak didn't see that. That defensive coordinator understood how to muddy up the waters, how to keep Dak guessing. Now, there is simple ways of handling that. Dak, don't guess, just play. If there's any knock I'll give on Dak, it's probably that. His processing in that game wasn't very good. His processing in that game wasn't very good. The interceptions, the one to Jake Ferguson, that was unfortunate. I mean, that's one of those, hey, I trust you here. And then Jahad Campbell, who I kind of blasted last week, oh, short arm there. Yeah, he gets to pick. So, yeah, you can blame me for that one. The second pick, CD should have ran the stop route. It's reminiscent of that Packers game a couple years ago, where CD is running a sluggo, and instead of crossing the face of the safety, he goes behind him. No, cross his face. Cross his face. Because if you cross his face, you're forcing him to step up. You're forcing him to make a play. You can beat him. You're CD fucking Lamb. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. That's part of it, bro. That is part of it. That is a big part of it. That is a very big part of it. When you know your defense can't stop anybody, the only thing on your mind is we got to score. I don't want 3. I want 7. We were pressing. The whole offense was pressing. From if you look at the pre-snap penalties, the holds and all that, bro, I saw a play where Terrence Steele got just fucking murdered. In fact, on that second interception, Terrence Steele just got like extremely turnstile beat, however you want to say it, picked on, kicked in the nuts. Like, I don't care how you want to say it, but yeah, he almost got Dak killed, and Dak threw that interception. Am I mad at Dak? No, not at all. I'll tell you why I'm not mad at him. Because that's not like him to press, especially this season, more so than any other season. Unfortunately, he has to. Now, I just need him to calm down and get back to playing within the confines of the offense. You know what I'm saying? Going through your progressions. And like I said it once, I'll say it again. Some of these dudes, some of these quarterbacks in the league, they are one read quarterbacks. Dak is not a one read quarterback. He has the ability to go through all his progressions within that 2.1. And that's the problem. That's the problem. That's unfair. That is unfair. Why should I have to rely on my quarterback? My quarterback has carried this team through 3 straight years of 12-5s. Only to be considered inept in the playoffs. My quarterback, when healthy, when on the field for 16 to 17 games, we get to the playoffs. We get double-digit wins. When is my team going to carry my quarterback? When is my team going to carry my quarterback? Can we all agree Daniel Jones looks really good right now? Can we all agree to that? Well, there's a really good explanation for it. Daniel Jones is being carried. Daniel Jones is being carried by a really good defense, 2 really good receivers, a nice tight end in Tyler Warren, good coaching, and Jonathan fucking Taylor. He gonna be top. I mean, if he keep going, bruh, like listen, and here's the thing: they got a last place schedule, bro. They have a third or a last place schedule. They're not playing the best of the best, the elite of the elite. But in the NFL, that shit don't matter. You play who's in front of you. And the way he's looking right now, he looks like he can't be stopped. That Indy team, that Indianapolis team, looks like they cannot be stopped. But that's what happens when you have a team that understands your quarterback has limitations. We don't have to put it all on him. Let's get a good scheme going. Let's get the good personnel. Everybody playing within the confines of the scheme that is taught to them, and go out there and execute. And they are executing at the highest level. It's not Daniel Jones, y'all. Let's keep this clear. It's not Daniel Jones. Now, we know Daniel Jones can throw the ball really well. We know Daniel Jones is actually pretty mobile. We know this. We've seen Daniel Jones in New York twice a year for like 4 or 5 years. We've seen him there. You know what I'm saying? And he's made some plays. He's not a bad quarterback, but Daniel Jones ain't great. Richardson is a better passer of the ball than Jalen Squirts, but he is Jalen Squirts. But he's constantly injured. Kid can't stay on the field. Kid cannot stay on the field. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. They was cheeks. You're right. They was cheeks. Jones is hooping. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Daniel Jones is so bad that he can't do nothing. I mean, shit, look at what Jackson Dart's doing in New York. You know what I'm saying? Jackson Dart isn't having a great start, but he's playing out of control. He's doing a pretty good job in what he's being asked to do. We've seen Daniel Jones go to the playoffs. We've seen Daniel Jones get a playoff win. We've seen it. He's a lot more experienced now. So, yes, the game has slowed down for Daniel Jones. And he's looking really good. I'm not going to sit here and fraud. But when you're playing the third or last place schedule, it kind of works in your favor. It kind of works in your favor. Here's the crazy part. We're playing a third place schedule. But the problem with our third place schedule is we're playing teams who are all in the playoffs. The first half of our season, we got a few playoff teams. You know, the Pigeons. You know what I'm saying? The Packers. You know what I'm saying? Denver, who's been our Achilles heel for the better part of 30 years. And then we go through our gauntlet as soon as we come out of the bye. Where is our third place schedule at? We don't have a third place schedule. We have a second place schedule. We're playing the who's who of the NFC. We're playing the Detroit Lions. We're playing the Eagles, the Packers. We're playing Kansas City, even though we ain't in their damn division. We still get the Chargers again. You know what I'm saying? We still get those guys again. We got to play Minnesota. Minnesota is no slouch. Just because they look really, really bad with shoddy quarterback play and their run game is just atrocious, which I don't understand, but maybe because Aaron Jones is out. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Again, if we were winning, Jerry wouldn't make a move. We are losing. Jerry still ain't going to make a move. So giving up the picks for this and that, that's not going to fly. Oh, yeah, they missed Darnold. Hell yeah. That was the worst thing they could have did. That was the worst thing they could have did, giving up Darnold. And it seems like Seattle had the right formula by saying goodbye to DK. Let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, look at Jackson Smith and Jigba. He leads the league in reception. He leads the league in touchdowns and yards. He's looking like a Triple Crown candidate. Just saying. Let's just think like to constantly do the same shit over and over and over again, thinking that it's going to change something. You're wrong. Oh no. Wentz is Carson Stench is beyond trash, bro. He is beyond trash. He's always been trash. I'm sorry. I never liked him even when he came out. I did not think he was him. I'm sorry. Argue with an Eagles friend. One of my homies. He an Eagles fan when Dak and Carson got drafted. Oh man, Carson Wentz going to have a better career than Dak Prescott. And Carson's better than. Well, this is what team 5 for Carson. How many teams Dak played for? Oh yeah, one. Yeah, so I mean, that should tell you everything you need to know. You know what I'm saying? Like Dak's setting records for the franchise that he was drafted for as a 4th-round pick who was never supposed to see the field. Who was never supposed to see the field. When you tell me your 1st-round draft pick is better than my 4th-round draft pick, normally in my right mind, I say, shit, he better be. He's a 1st-round draft pick. This guy's a 4th-round draft pick. But what made me change my mind was the fact that Tom Brady has 7 rings and he's a 6th-round draft pick. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It's amazing to me how the vitriol is being spilled for a 4th-round pick who really should have never saw the field, but once he saw the field, you couldn't get him off of it, barring injury. You couldn't get him off. And he's been successful. Do we have a Super Bowl? No. Does he have 2 playoff wins? Yes. 2 for 5. So 7 playoff games. Were all 5 of those losses on him? No. I'll give you 2. And those 2 playoff losses was his boogeyman, San Francisco. Those are the only 2 games where I can honestly say, I can sit there and be like, yeah, I'll give it to you. That one's on Dak. That one's on Dak. But when your team gives up 48 to the Packers, 277 plus rushing yards, 277 plus rushing yards to Ty Gurley and whoever he had with him, I can't do that. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to say that was my quarterback's fault. So obviously the defense has been an issue for a very long time. But if we'd have kept Micah, we'd be able to get some. Bro, if we'd have kept Micah, we still would have been getting ran on. What is you talking about? Like, what are we doing here? Then you wouldn't have Kenny Clark. We'd still be getting run on. They'd run right at Micah, and there's nothing he can do about it. Oh, yeah, but he has 12 to 13 sacks. Oh, yeah, that's awesome. 12 to 13 sacks. Damn that. Fuck a sack. I need to see tackles for loss. Getting in the backfield, bringing down runners. I think that is more important. We was ranked 31st with Micah. And guess what? We're ranked 32nd without him. So, I mean, like, ooh, we got worse without Micah by 1. It's not really saying nothing. It's not really saying nothing. In fact, since everybody want to talk about this whole, oh, well, if we'd have had Micah, you do realize we were a better defense with DeMarvion Overshown on the field when Micah was off, right? Am I lying? I don't think I am because I saw it. I watched it. I think with DeMarvion Overshown on the field, we looked a lot better. That's what I think. If I'm wrong, please tell me. But from my guesstimation, when I saw those 5 weeks that Micah was out, DeMarvion Overshown played his ass off. I believe that was the Giants game where we barely won, but thanks to him, we wouldn't have had a defensive score. Thanks to him. There was games where I seen DeMarvion Overshown wreck games. The Washington game, I've seen him wreck that. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Michael was a dog, a hellraiser. He was. I'm not going to do that. He was. Michael was very, very good and very impactful in the things that he did. But he wasn't a defensive end. He's an edge rusher. So as an edge rusher, you're 100% correct. He's a pass rusher, an edge rusher. That's what he is. Because he's not a defensive end. TJ Watt, does he stop the run? I'll wait. TJ Watt can play in the run gaps because he's a defensive edge. Oh, yeah. And he did look a lot more explosive. I'm not lying. He did. You know what I'm saying? Myles Garrett, is he considered a pass rusher or a defensive end? Because last time I checked, he can get back there and get tackles for loss. Yes, he is. He's his brother. He's JJ. Those guys were defensive ends. Nick Bosa, when he was healthy, he could get back there and stop the run. He could play in the pass, and he could pass rush. Those are defensive ends. Love James Houston. Love James Houston. He's more of a defensive end. He's not really a pass rusher. He's more of a defensive end. In fact, I heard from a little birdie somebody wants to put him at the linebacker spot. Kind of wouldn't mind that. I heard from a little birdie maybe they're thinking about moving Donovan Ezaraku at the linebacker spot. I'm just saying. There are ways you can tweak this team to make it better. There are ways. When you got a James Houston who's playing an undersized edge, when you got a Donovan Ezaraku who clearly is he's progressing in ways that we want him to as a defensive end, as a pass rusher. Now, let's slide him on back. You got your Davion Clowney. I don't even want to. That ain't even cool. Like, because, like, the two biggest disappointments that on this defense right now are Sam Williams and Dante Fowler. Those are the two biggest disappointments. They both had a game apiece where they were okay. A game apiece. Bring me back Perion Winfrey. In fact, his window's open. His window's going to be open in this Wednesday. So, yeah, Perion Winfrey. In fact, today, his window was open. Perion Winfrey's window was open. So he can come back. That's what I want to see. So this is how you handle this. You give me Solomon Thomas, Perion Winfrey, Kenny Clark, Jadeveon Clowney. You give me that. These two have something in common. They have a strict I don't give a policy. They're going to come in, no Diddy. They're going to get through the line at all costs. These two have something in common. Kenny Clark, Jadeveon Clowney. They have something in common. They have experience. They have know-how. That's what you want. You want two dudes who have a strict I don't fuck policy and two dudes who are disciplined enough to let you know, like, hey, now you cannot go get him. I'm clogging up this area. He's setting the edge there. And I'll be remiss if I don't say this. As bad as our defense looked, there is a couple of players that stood out. Yes, he would. He would be better in the 3-4 because let's be honest, his natural position is a linebacker. That's his natural position. But there's a few players who stood out to me in that Denver game. Reddy Stewart being one of them, and DaRon Bland. Now, DaRon Bland may have given up a touchdown. It's to be expected. You're not going to be perfect. You're not going to be perfect. But DaRon Bland made key plays when they were needed. DaRon Bland set the edge better than anybody else. DaRon Bland literally set the edge better than anybody else. Linebackers and edges included. Okay? I've seen a couple of plays where DaRon Bland diverted the running back inside on both sides of the field. On both sides of the field. Reddy Stewart's going to make a hell of a safety. Reddy Stewart's going to make one hell of a safety. The fact that he's physical, the fact that he has coverage ability, he's not the greatest cover corner. He's a pretty damn good cover safety because you really don't have to cover much. All you have to do is, as soon as he gets past your corner, you're back there with him. and it's just you and him. I expect you to be physical, and he's going to be. So those two players, I got to give props to. I have to give my props to them. Maris Leofau, unfortunately, he's not getting the play time that he deserves because of favoritism. So, yeah, we're going to leave that one there. Yeah, facts. Exactly. And that's the next part, right? When you're playing in the zone, Jeremy Betts, when you're playing in the zone, you are diverting, you are dictating where the wide receivers go. So that means when you're playing in the zone, as a corner, you shouldn't be no more than 3 yards off the ball. You're putting hands on them, diverting them, forcing them in a manner to the help that you have. That's what you're supposed to do. But for some odd reason, this boy Eberflus got these Bulls playing 7 to 10 yards off and allowing the wide receivers to come to them unimpeded. Unimpeded. Tight ends are getting open. We are having bad days against tight ends. And that's opening up the run. When you're playing the zone, 78% of the time, you're going to get ran on. You're going to get ran on. I've seen like these dudes, they're not, it's like there's no fight. It's like there's no fight in these dudes. I want to see somebody throw somebody off of them. Oh, you want to block me? Here, take one. Get out of here. And you go in for, you know what I'm saying? I've seen that probably a handful of times just this season from this team. A handful of times. A handful. And that's not much. That's not much, man. Like, we just got to do better. Defensively, we have to do better because you are wasting away this prolific offense. There's no guarantee that this offense is going to come back next year and be exactly what we see now. Shit, look at Saquon Barkley. He doesn't look like a 2,000-yard back this year, does he? Jonathan Taylor does, but he doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have a pretty good running game. When you – and here's the difference between the run game today and the run game last season. We actually allowed Javonte Williams to be the lead back week 1. We didn't play games. Whereas we didn't allow Rico Dowdle become the lead back until week 11 last season. That's bad. I said it once, I'll say it again. Rico Dowdle would have been really good here. He would have been a 1,400-yard back last season if we wasn't playing with our lunch, if the coaches wasn't playing favorites. The offensive side of this team is not playing favorites. The offensive side of this team is merit-based. What have you done in order to get on the field? Are you practicing right? Are you taking what you see, what you do in practice and transforming it over to the field? I'm sorry, transferring it over to the field. Are you doing those things? And they are, for the most part. I can't say the same for the defense. Because you still got the same who's out there. Kenneth Murray, bull slow as nails. Like, come on, y'all. Come on. Like, yeah, he had a game, maybe 2, but that was it. We're going into week 9 now. That was it. You keep putting Mozzie out there. Now, in Mozzie's defense, he's a 3-tech or a 1-tech. The only thing he can do is just eat up a double team. I'm not expecting him to get any pressure on the quarterback because that's not his job. His job is to open up the lane for open up a hole or a crease for the linebackers to fill. That's his job, and that's what he's been doing. So kudos to him. You know what I'm saying? Kenny Clark, you know what I'm saying? As a 3-tech, 1-tech nose tackle. I'm not expecting him to get pressure. Now, does he? Yeah. Is he able to get in the backfield and bottle up some runs? Yeah. Yeah. All well and good. I'll take it. I'm not complaining. My edges, I need better. I need better for my edges. You're not setting the edge that you're on. You're not. Only a few of you. Not the ones that I want either. You know what I'm saying? Like Dante Fowler, you are not a 10-sack guy. Whatever you were doing in Washington, fool's gold. Sam Williams, you're coming back off of an injury. I understand you haven't gotten your sea legs under you. It takes about 2 years to come back from said injury. So slight pass. But I still expected to see a lot more from you. Marshawn Nealon, you've been in and out with injury. You're a year two guy. Something's got to click at some point. You're really good in the run, still not getting any pressure. The sack that you got on Justin Fields was, or who was it? It wasn't even on Justin Fields. He got a sack on somebody, but that was the last time we heard of you. That was the absolute last time we heard of you. Maris Leofow needs more playing time. Shamar James, again, rookie, 7th rounder or 5th rounder. It is unfair to put those unnecessary expectations on the first year guys. It is, because it's bad enough that the veterans are having an issue in this scheme, in this defensive scheme. It's bad enough that the veterans are. Now you're going to have my rookies added into, like, the fact that the rookies are learning. You have them teaching. You're teaching them the wrong way. You're teaching them the absolute wrong way. And that's not helping. That's not going to get them better in the future. The only thing we can do at this point is just let the chip fall where they may, man. It's the only thing we can do at this point. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, we need to go pick up this and that and that and this, and then we'll be a top 10 defense. That's unrealistic. The best we can get to is 29. That's the best we can get to at this point. Even at 29, we should be able to get into the playoffs. But we're not going to be at 29. We're going to remain right where we are. If you're expecting a move to be made, get it out of your head. Get it out of your head, because it's not going to happen. That's not the way Jerry works. The last time he made a trade midseason was Amari Cooper. That was the last time he made a trade midseason. He's not making one this time. He's not. If anything, I'll see Jerry Jones firing Eberflus before he makes a trade. Firing Eberflus mid-season before he makes a trade. I'll reserve the right to be wrong, but I will bet money that he would rather fire Eberflus than make a trade. Than give up his draft picks. Then give up some money. Do you want to help this defense? Because you're not going to change it. If you want to help this defense, calling Carl Lawson a week ago would have helped. Getting Eric Kendricks back in the building definitely would have helped, especially in your linebacker room. So your first and second years can learn from someone who actually does it. Getting Gilly in the building. No, he don't got to play 60 snaps. He don't even got to play 40 snaps. He don't. But these kids, the Kyer Elams, the Traquez Bridges, which I feel sorry for him last week because he got picked on, something crazy, and to expect a rookie who's never played a snap in his life to come out here and shut down Cortland Sutton and this one and that one, you're kidding yourself. You are kidding yourself. You are kidding yourself. Some dudes got it and some dudes don't. Some dudes got it and some dudes don't. Shit, for as good as Trayvon is, and/or was, his first year, he got picked on too. DaRon Bland is an anomaly. He's finally getting his pick on. He got picked on last year when we played, or 2023 when we played Seattle. Was it 2023? Yeah, where DK torched his ass. Yeah, he got his pick on. Like, cats picked on these dudes. No one's exempt. No one is exempt. But they can learn. DaRon Bland learned from it. Traquez Bridges can also learn from it. Reddy Stewart can also learn from it. If you want to help out this defense, if you want to help out your secondary, you still do have Zion Childress on your roster. Call him up. You know what he brings you. Let's see what he can do in the game. And this is the game to do it, Arizona. This is the game to do it. You're not playing a juggernaut. You're playing a get-right team. And here's the crazy part. You're a get-right team, too. We are a get-right team. Teams come to us to get right. If y'all think that these Bulls ain't going to walk in here Monday night and not believe that they can just torch us, you are out of your mind. We just might get torched on Monday night. Offensively, no. Offensively, I got us having a bounce back game. But defensively, bruh, we can easily get torched. We can easily get torched here. We really could. It just remains to be seen. Just got to see what moves are made and how many moves we don't make, and how Eberflus decides he wants to call the defense. You know what I'm saying? If Shaddy's going to go in his meeting and Bogart the meeting again. You know what I'm saying? I would prefer that. Please go in there, Bogart the meeting. Bogart that shit. Let them know, like, bruh, when that ball is snapped, you should be firing, Kenneth Murray. You shouldn't be sitting there hesitating. Oh, which way is he going? Look at the offensive line and their blocking scheme. It's real simple. If you see the guard and the center, go grab Kenny Clark. That means you fire your ass right down the middle. They're not fast enough to get to you. They're only fast enough to get to you because you hesitate. But if you had somebody else in that spot, they wouldn't think twice. I don't know whether it's the scheme, the players, or just the lack of belief in the coaching. But whatever it is, what's going on, Angie? How are you, Sweet Pea? You know what I'm saying? I don't know what it is. I'm not sure. I'm more inclined to think that they don't believe in Flus. I'm more inclined to believe that they do not believe in Flus. I am more inclined to believe that. Yeah, we had a couple of good games out of 9. A couple of good games. A couple out of 9. Out of 9. Defensively. We had 2 bad games by the offense out of 9. So that means for 7 games, this defense has been trash. For 7 games, this defense has been bum diddles. Bum diddly-ocious, however you want to say it. For 9 games, and it ain't looking like it's going to get any better. Because again, I'm going to say it again. I know you just walking in, Angie, but there's 2 ways this thing can go with Jerry in this trade deadline. If we'd have won last week, yeah, dumb. 100% dumb. You know what I'm saying? But this is the 2 ways it can go. If we'd have won last week, this is what Jerry would be saying. Oh, no, we don't need to make no moves. We don't need to make no moves. We're good with what we got. We went out there and beat Denver. We are good with what we got. You saw what we did with Washington. We are good with what we got. Now, the fact that we lost that game, this is also what he's saying. Well, we ain't as good as I thought I was, and there's no reason to go out and make a trade now to try to fix something frivolously, you know what I'm saying, for a rental. So why make a move? Let's just wait until the offseason. Either way, all roads lead to Jerry's not doing shit. So real talk. Enough of the talking. If you ain't, listen, Jerry, I already know you ain't going to do nothing. I already know you're not going to do nothing. Angie knows you're not going to do nothing. Everybody within here right now knows you're not going to do nothing. Don't sit here and piss on us and tell us it's raining. We know that you're not going to do shit, bro. So shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Shut the fuck up. Like I said, I'd be hard-pressed to believe that Jerry would fire Flus mid-season. And that's another one. That's another one. That's another one, Angie. The way it's looking, he probably might fuck around with his lunch. He just might fuck around with his lunch. He just might. Like, there's no point in me signing George. Why would I want to do that? If I sign George Pickens, then that leaves very little for the rest of them. And we have to do this and we have to do that. But that's my point. You will see Jerry fire Flus mid-season before you see him make a move. Before you see him make a trade. The other part of that is he ain't making no trades. He ain't making no trades. He's not doing nothing of the sort. It's if Jerry at least holds on to, if Jerry at least says, all right, fuck it. We may not give him a long-term contract, but I will franchise tag him. Cool. That's better than doing nothing. That's better than doing nothing. Me personally, I would mirror a contract for George Pickens with everyone else, with your CD Lamb, with your Dak Prescott, with Shoddy. You know what I'm saying? I would mirror his contract with theirs. 3 to 4 years. This is that, this is that, this is that. Call it a day. So that way this offense stays together. Again, the main pieces on this offense have already been signed. Dak, CD, Tyler Smith, Jake Ferguson, Kavontae Turpin. He's been signed. You know what I'm saying? That's 5 pieces on offense. That's your core on offense. You're probably going to move off of Terrence Steele. That's going to free you up some money. Cooper Beebe's not due for a contract for another 2 to 3 years. Booker's not due for a contract. He's first round pick. You got 5 years of him. Tyler Guyton, he's a fifth. You got another 4 years for him because you get the 5th year option. Yeah. Okay. I'll agree with that. Well, see, now this is the one time where I'll give Jerry a little bit of grace, just a little bit. When George got here, tell me about it. When George got here, George made it abundantly clear. I do not want to talk about contracts right now. I don't want to talk about contracts until the end of the year. So that is George's decision. Now, Jerry can say what he wants. I do hate that, man. No, I hate seeing him and Terrence Steele. They get beat real bad. Guyton was better than Terrence Steele this past week. Not much better. But he was a little bit better than Terrence Steele. Terrence Steele got belt to ass, switched to ass, stick to ass. He got a lot to his ass. He got a lot. Like, oh dear God. Like that was bad to watch, man. It was bad to watch. And I'm gonna say it, and I'm gonna stick to it. The offense deserves to have at least a bad game. You get grace from me, even with a bad game. Because you are forced to go out there and play near perfect in order to get us wins. Because your defense is in that. Because no matter what, every time, I don't care what quarterback it is, if he's on the field, he's probably going to score a lot. Think about it, right? If we didn't have George Pickens and CD went down in that Jets game, do you think we score 37? Nope. Nope. And I think the Jets beat us worse. So having George Pickens, Dak Prescott, Jake Ferguson, Javonte Williams, breath of fresh air, even though he's not too different from the running back we had last season. The problem was, I'll say it again, yeah, that fucking Bears game. The problem with Rico Dowdle last year is not the problem we're having with Javonte Williams this year. Because we said, Javonte here, you're the lead back. Week 1, we're rolling with you. Whereas I don't understand it. I don't know why I keep seeing Luke Schoonmaker. I really don't. He doesn't block well. This is the second time I've seen him almost score. Down by a knee. This is the second time. The first time was 2023, the Eagles game in Philadelphia, where we could have won that game, but his knee goes down. Denver, by a knee. By a damn knee. Not having field awareness. Stretch your arms out. Straighten your knees out. Maybe you'll score. Maybe that changes the game. I'm telling you, man. Look, and it's because the Denver defense did a really good job in bottling up Jake Ferguson. They did a very good job of it. I give them kudos. They did a very good job of it. So Dak's other security blanket, unfortunately, had to be Schoon. Now, if there's a tweak that happens to where you say, hey, Schoon, I'm going to need you to park your ass right there. You have a phantom knee injury. So I'm going to need you to sit down for a minute. We're going to let Brevin Spanford get in. I guarantee you'll see a big difference. So then you won't have to rely on Jake. You could just target Jake on a regular. Yes. Short yardage. I don't think Hunter Lipke has the ability to have that breakaway. You know what I'm saying? Like, unfortunately, yeah, he fumbled. Oh, that hurt so bad. Watching that young man fumble, and that was one of the things that was it was a cloud over him coming out of college. So, like, I'm pretty sure he heard the talk. Oh, well, he's got a fumbling problem, and then that it was a good ass hit. I mean, we heard it. We heard that hit. It was a good ass hit. You got to protect the ball. That's my problem with Hunter Lipke. Now, he is a hell of a blocker, though. He is a hell of a when he's in the fullback, he definitely gets to his block and lays him out. You have no argument with me there. He's a hell of a lead blocker. And you can even use him short yardage, of course, out on the flats. You know what I'm saying? You can use him there. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a place for almost everybody, except for Jalen Tolbert. But, I mean, shit, even he got a touchdown. Yay. That solidifies his spot on this team even longer. But I'm not cast this disparagement on the young man. I want him to succeed. He's a Cowboy. But, like, come on. Joe Milton. I saw some shit on X where they're actually questioning, oh, man, is Dak really done? I mean, Joe Milton comes in and just immediately throws a touch. Calm the fuck down. 4 minutes? 4 minutes? Dak's been taken off the field twice for Joe Milton. Yeah, 4 minutes. 4 minutes in the Chicago game, 4 minutes left in the Denver game. 4 minutes. Y'all acting like this boy has been trash. Dak threw 2 interceptions, fine. Do I blame him for them? Yes and no. But, of course, it's a quarterback stat. You threw 2 interceptions. You know what I'm saying? Just like you threw 2 interceptions in the Chicago game. But here's the difference. Nobody wanted to say shit when Joe Milton threw an interception and said Chicago game. Joe Milton threw interceptions and said Chicago game. Like, you got to be fucking kidding me. You're telling me you're going to put in rocket arm Joe Milton in place of Dak to start a game? And it's not preseason? Yeah, fuck out of here. Listen here, okay? Let Joe Milton sit in that pocket for 2.6 seconds. He will get murdered. Joe Milton didn't face the level of very eager. Joe didn't face the level of pressures that Dak did, mainly because he was only in for 4 minutes. But he didn't play 36 minutes. You know what I'm saying? He only played 4. So let Joe get a taste of that and tell me exactly how Joe is going to feel. You tell me how he fares. Because he didn't face anywhere close to the level of pressures that Dak Prescott had to face. Stacked boxes, disguised defenses. And Joe can't read a fucking defense. Let's be real. Joe can't read the defense. Joe relies on one thing and one thing only: his athleticism, meaning his athletic ass arm and his athletic ass legs. We all know Dak ain't no runner. I don't want Dak to be a runner. again, I have to give the credit to Denver. I have to give the credit to Denver. Now, could it have been play calling as well? Yeah, I think so. I think so. And I think Dak really did. I think Dak really was trying not to put the ball in harm's way. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, did anyway. You know what I'm saying? On 2 passes. One of them, okay, fine, that's on you. You threw it up there while Ferguson was double covered. That second one, nah, CD, that's on you, bro. I want to need you to sit down on that route instead of trying to play the man, play the route. Sit down on the route. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we didn't use Turk. We really didn't use Turk. I think that was, but I also do believe that was by design. I kind of believe that was by design. And yeah, the play calling was not great. And to hear Shadi take accountability says a lot. It says a lot. Did anybody who feels like they played well raise your hand? No? Good, because we didn't coach well either. As a head coach, I did not do my job. I did not put my team in the best position to win. As a head coach, I need to put my foot up my DC's ass. As a DC, I need to put my foot up my linebacker coach's ass, my defensive lineman coach's ass, my corner coach's ass, my safety coach's ass. That's what I need to do. And I also need to put a foot up my own ass. If I'm sitting here thinking that running 76% zone coverage is going to stop anyone, it's not. You don't have the personnel to do it. Everybody's route concept, you got to understand something. You got to understand something. We see these teams struggle, be in life fights with different teams, right? We saw Denver just a week ago before we played them be in a life fight with the Giants. You know what I'm saying? We get smacked. Here's why. Everybody wants to beat the Cowboys. Don't nobody give a fuck about the Giants. It's just another team on their schedule. Ooh, I don't care how bad the Cowboys is. We need to beat them. I don't care how good they are. I don't care how bad their defense is. We're going to go out there and prove that we can beat the Cowboys. Do you get kudos for that? Fuck no, because you're playing a shitty defense. You're playing a pot water defense. Fuck no. If anything, we're going to give their defense kudos for taking down our offense, for slowing down our offense. That's what you get kudos for. You don't get kudos. I mean, listen. The Giants next year, when I'm not high, I've never been high on Cam Scatterbo. I've never been high on him. I can be wrong. Right? That kid, he runs with some fire. That kid runs with some fire. And then you get back Malik Neighbors, and you get them another piece over there with Jackson Dart. They and that defense. I kind of want to poach. If Jerry, if you were to do a move, okay, I suggest you go get Kayvon Thibodeau. That's who I suggest you go get. That's who I suggest. Either him or Brian Byrne. Those are your options. If you're going to go to New York and you want to play around with both teams, fine. Go to the Giants, talk about Kayvon Thibodeau or Brian Burns, or take your ass over to the Jets, get McDonald or Quentin Williams. Those are your options. Defensively, those are your options. Because I'm going to tell you right now, New York is going to be a thorn in a lot of people's side next year. In years to come, they are going to be a thorn. We're gonna want to fucking throw up every time we got to play the damn Giants. Like, oh God, we got to play these dudes again. Well, yes, we should have. And I blame myself a little bit. I ain't gonna hold you. I blame myself just a wee bit. But we was getting scraps even in the off season. Jack Sanborn. Like, granted, I was high on him. Like, watching the film, remember they only give you the good parts of their film. You know what I'm saying? You don't get to see the negative. You only get to see the positive. You know what I'm saying? So watching their film, I'm like, all right, he looked like and it rang true. He can diagnose really, really well. Just not fast enough to get there. Like that's Kenneth Murray. Not very good at diagnosing. He did seem like he had a motor, but I don't know what the hell happened to that. Jack Sanborn? Not Jack Sanborn. He was drafted, I think, last year or the year before, and he was just a depth piece. But then injuries and all that, and he got some tick under Flus. Kenneth Murray was really good in San Diego or L.A. Chargers. They're L.A. They're L.A. now, right? I believe they're L.A. Yeah, he was really good in L.A. with the Chargers. Then he went to Tennessee. Unfortunately, that's the land of obscurity. You know what we did? Here's the thing. Here's the thing about that. I'm glad you said low tier guys. Those guys that we picked up, not the Jack Sanborns, the Dante Fowler, Kenneth Murray, Kyer Elam. Who else is over there? Yeah, those three guys that we picked up this offseason, one thing that they all have in common, they're all first-round draft picks. No, Fowler ain't playing hurt. Fowler just ain't playing. I'm starting to believe that he's just not playing because he's had one game. One game. I don't think Fowler's playing hurt. I think Fowler just ain't playing. Again, I don't think these dudes believe in this defense. I don't think they do. You got some dudes who do, but then pride has to set in somewhere. Pride has to set in somewhere. I would say Kenny Clark is playing with more of an injury than Dante Fowler. Marshawn Nealon is playing with more of an injury than Dante Fowler. Sam Williams is playing with more of an injury than Dante Fowler. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I mean, and I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say about Osa. I mean, is he still one of the most double teamed three techs? Yes, he is. He's still getting double teamed more than a little bit. You know what I'm saying? No excuse. See, here's the point. Here's the thing. Your Kenny Clarks, your Osas, your Solomon Thomases. We see Solomon Thomas break through the line. We see Solomon Thomas get tackles for loss. We see Solomon Thomas use his motor. We see Solomon Thomas running around chasing quarterbacks. We see that. They have two different motors. As much as I love Osa, he doesn't have that Solomon Thomas motor. He's big for nothing. I hate to say it. He's big for nothing. But can he hold up a double team? Sure. Still big for nothing. I mean, what makes a captain? What actually makes a captain? What, the fact that the coach puts it on him? You know what I'm saying? Because if we're talking about captains, Osa's not my captain on my defensive line. I get after Solomon Thomas and or Kenny Clark. Donovan Ezaraku is showing up. He's getting better as they go along. Unfortunately, this defense isn't any good. You know what I'm saying? It was an elbow and a shoulder, I believe, with Donovan Wilson. And you're 100% correct. I'm not mad he's not playing. I am not mad at all. I mean, it doesn't seem like it matters because we're still getting toasted in the safeties. But, I mean, it's more our corners getting toasted at this point because it's like they're trying to stay away from our safeties. No, with Donovan Wilson, no, it was the elbow and I think a shoulder. I think it was the elbow and the shoulder. Who was concussed? I know Jack Sanborn should have paid a few people. I tell you, should have paid a few people. You should have paid Carl Lawson. That's who you should have paid. You should have paid Eric Kendricks. That's who you should have paid. You should have paid Jay Lou. That's who you should have paid. Those are the guys you should have paid. A couple years ago, you should have paid Javon Curse because he was a better safety than what the fuck we got right now. I'd rather have DeMarcus Lawrence. I would, because I know for a fact, and he's balling. Even though he was injured, the past couple weeks, he was balling. He was doing his job like D-Law does. Get back there, tackles for loss, setting the edge properly. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. Shit that we don't have. You know what I'm saying? Like as much animosity as there was between D-Law and Micah, they worked really, really well together. They worked really, really well together. They did. In fact, coupled with Osa, those three worked really, really well together. They really did. I don't know what the hell happened. Oh yeah, ego. No, not D-Laws, not Osa's, not even Micah's. Your front office. Yeah, their ego. Their ego made it this way. I don't either. I honestly don't either. Again, I'm all for saying fuck this season. I'm still rocking. Don't get it twisted. I am still rocking. You see it. You see it. That ain't just Jason Voorhees just to be Jason Voorhees. No, yeah. That ain't just Freddy Krueger just to be Freddy Krueger. That ain't Jigsaw just to be Jigsaw. That ain't Chucky just to be Chucky. You know what I'm saying? If we're gonna be a horror story, let's be a fucking horror story. You know what I'm talking about? Their ego is the biggest problem. Their ego is the biggest problem. You know what I'm saying? This defense is a fucking horror story. This defense is the white chick in a horror movie, dog. That's what this defense is. Like real shit, tripping over twigs. Outrunning Jason about 45 miles and tripping over a twig and he right behind you. Of course they swear they're never wrong. They know everything. They know everything. And then when you get guys like me talking, like yourself talking, Angie, CFT, Law, all they say is, oh man, those dudes play too much Madden. No, we don't play too much Madden. We just understand the game where you don't. I don't know why he keeps talking that way. The nigga ain't coaching nothing. The only thing he coaching his son to do is to be a dickhead just like him. It's the only thing he coaching. That's the only thing he coaching. Listen, Jim Irsay's daughter. I was talking to one of my coworkers today, football guy. He's an Atlanta Falcons fan. We were talking about it. Jim Irsay's daughter. Rest in peace to the late great Jim Irsay. His daughter's taking over the team. They are 7-1 right now. She is always on the field, but as much as she is on the field, I've never heard her speak. You might get a quote on X. You might get a quote on Facebook. But she is never in front of the camera. But she's always on the field. She has a notepad with her. She has her shit on. And she's right next to the coach. Like, are you doing it the way that you should be doing it? Because I want to make sure you're not bullshit. I like her. I'd like her as an owner. She has a standard. I like her standard. I like how she moves. I don't like how Jerry moves. We all were saying it, man. Oh, man, this team feels different. Feels like it's going to be different this year. They're making moves. They're doing this. They're doing it. She's allowing them to do their jobs. Right there. You just said it. Yeah, she is. She is clean. She is clean like a motherfucking dog. And I gotta say it, man. Like, I'm jelly. Yep. Competition culture. In a sense. I'll agree with Shotty in a sense that this is a competition culture. Okay. Now, maybe it's not full force this year. I think you know where I'm about to go with this. As long as Ryan Flournoy can come into a game not playing in a while and still get over 100, you know what I'm saying? But then when you get Jalen Toburn out there, he's so inconsistent. He only scores one touchdown all season. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, Ryan Flournoy hasn't scored, but Ryan Flournoy has showed you that in big spots he comes alive. There was 2 spots this season in 9 games where I seen Jalen Tolbert come alive. 2. In fact, I finally saw in 2 games, he don't block well, but I finally saw in 2 games Jalen Tolbert get some yak yardage. Mind you, it was only like 5-6 yards, but he got some yak yardage. He didn't just go down where he stood. You know what I'm saying? Finally. But I guarantee we won't see that this week. I guarantee we won't see that against the Raiders. I guarantee we won't see that again. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how inconsistent he is. But yet, the more consistent guy who's constantly open, who makes contested catches, who you can actually run an end and around with, who you can run a speed play with, you don't have him on the field constantly. I think you should switch that up. I think this week you should see CDGP, the regular criminals, CDGP, Jake Ferguson. But then you should take guys like Luke Schoonmaker and sit his ass down. He's got a phantom ankle. And Jalen Tolbert, sit his ass down. His nose is broken, quote unquote. You know what I'm saying? And let the other guys eat. I want to see more flow. I want to see Mingo with Dak. I do. Because if we see that this week, when you look at hindsight 2020, everybody can see better. Of course, hindsight, everybody can see better. But if indeed you can show me Mingo with Dak and it's prosperous, no, his nose ain't broke. His nose ain't broke. I'm just saying, phantom injuries. You know what I'm saying? If you see Mingo with Dak and it's magical, think about what that could have been in the Denver game. Think about that. Think about what that could have been in the Carolina game. Think about what that could have been in the Eagles game. And granted, he was out for the Eagles, fine. But think about that. Hindsight, everybody sees better because your glasses are 2020. So I get it. But you can't move forward, you know what I'm saying, on a hope, on a prayer. You got to move forward on certainty. You know what I'm saying? And I think with Mingo in the lineup, oh, yeah, it's just hard body. Hard body he is. Oh, yeah, me and Dak are really, really cool. Not knowing that, nigga, you out of here next year. You might not even make it through the season. I'm just saying. Especially if what we think is going to happen happens. Mingo Flow come in, you got a 4 wide receiver set, and you just say, hey, balls to the walls, let's go get it. And all 4 of these dudes eat? Nope. Nope, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. I can tell you right now, we don't. Mingo is activated. He's back on the 53. I don't know why we didn't see much of him in the Denver game, but I think you're going to see more of him in the Arizona game. So let's just wait on that, see what happens. Because they removed to bring back Childress, they got rid of Brooks. He's on IR, injury IR. Brought back him. Mingo was put back on the 53. Trevor Keegan went to IR. And yeah, I think that's about it in that one. But yeah, I really want to see Mingo with Dak. I have to see it. I need to know what we got. You know what I'm saying? Because the last quarterback we had throwing it to him wasn't throwing it to him. He was throwing it at him. He was throwing it in the vicinity. You know what I'm saying? Maybe 10, 15 yards off, either ahead or behind. But yeah, he was throwing it in the general vicinity. I don't even think it was the general vicinity. I think it was like hopefully it was still in the same zip code. But yeah, I mean, just looking forward to seeing what we got, man. Yeah, well, migraines. So with migraines, I can attest to it. All migraines aren't the same. Some can hinder can hinder your sight. You know what I'm saying? for others, that shit can really just like lock your body down. You know what I'm saying? So migraines are very serious, and I can understand why we haven't seen them. Now, when it comes to treatment for the migraines, that's the tricky part. You know what I'm saying? Because again, not all migraines are made the same. They don't all have the same underlining effect. You know what I'm saying? I would like to see him Monday. I'd love to see him Monday. That means I gotta go through a whole fucking Sunday just talking to the in-laws. That means I gotta go all Sunday watching these fucking because they're pigeon fans. They're fucking pigeon fans, dog. So Sunday, I gotta sit there and talk to my in-laws and then watch games with them and the pigeons. That's what I gotta do. Unless the pigeons gotta buy this week. Do they gotta buy? Because I ain't in the damn mood. I am not in the damn mood. I am not the damn mood. And then on top of that, I gotta watch the game at work on Monday. Like, come on, where I'm at right now. Yeah. Okay. Let's get to it. I don't give a fuck about that shit. Let's go. All right. And if who do these pitchers got to play if they play at all? I don't think they do. Nope, the Pigeons don't play. All right, cool. I ain't got to worry about listening to it. Go Eagles! And motherfuckers can't even spell the damn name. All right, cool. I ain't got to worry about that then. Oh boy. Every year I want to go skeet shooting. And the bad part is I live out here. I fucking live out here. I live in Jersey, but close enough. It fucking smells like bird shit out here. It stinks. But yeah, I mean, but damn, I've been on here for quite some time. Yeah, who was the cornerback that they got? I know they needed one. I want to know. Okay. All right. Let me see who the hell this guy is. AFC East to the NFC East. Let's see. Come on, man. Load up. Eagles trading wide receiver John Mechie for Michael Carter. That's stupid. Why would you trade? Look, go ahead, pitchers. Do y'all. do y'all. Yeah, do y'all. What? Do y'all? Michael Carter just got torched by Ryan Flanoy. By a fourth string quarterback, by a number 4 receiver on our depth chart. Michael Carter is not good. You're asking for teams to pick on you everywhere now. Everywhere. Fuck it. Let them do what they're going to do. Michael Carter is going to be great. We're going to give them John Mechie. That's stupid. I mean, great for the Jets. Great for the Jets. Hell yeah, that's good for us. Hell yeah. I just saw George Pickens and Ryan Flournoy turnstile this dude. They was doing him like a white chick at a swingers club. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I'm not worried about that. Fuck him. Go ahead. Go get another cornerback. You're gonna need it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't worried about that. But to give up John Mechie for that? No, I'm not doing that. No, I'm not doing that. But hey, go for the Jets. I mean, maybe they'll string together a few wins. But I've been on here for a while. I got about another 13 minutes before I got to go in here and do some lab cleanings. So with that being said, I'm happy everybody showed up. I'm happy for those who came in to holler with me. I'll try to be a bit more consistent. Just been having a lot going on. Been out of the loop, trying to get back in. But you already know what it is, Angie. You're my sweetheart. I love you to death. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all being here, man. And I'll be tapping in with y'all again very, very soon. Hopefully Friday, Thursday or Friday, tomorrow or Friday. Yeah, one of the two. We're going to get together again. But with that being said, man, it's your boy Hoodie Kush with the Basement Boys. I'm out.